Hi, beautiful goddesses and gods. Welcome to Elle, the Modern Priestess. So happy to have you here, this Taurus full moon eclipse. I hope you guys are surrendering to the energy with grace, more so than I am. I've been struggling through the season. I am a Taurus sun and Scorpio rising, so this is an intense time for me, but I felt called to do a reading today for this energy. It's a timeless reading, so even though it's filmed on the Taurus full moon eclipse, it's just generally about what is releasing out and what is coming in its place, because the universe loathes the vacuum. So wherever you've been forced to kind of release things, which is always something that generally just happens instinctively, energetically, during times of eclipse, and during times of full moons, and during times of Scorpio. So we've got a kind of triple whammy going on there with this at the moment. So I'm sure you're all feeling it. And as I was saying, if whenever you're drawn to watching this, it is timeless, because there might be something that is being released out of your life, and something is being drawn in as a result of that space that's been created. So trust that whenever you are drawn to this reading, there may be a message for you. Okay, my lovelies. So today, also just to introduce, we've got the beautiful goddess Oshun here, who is the overarching goddess who is seeing us through this Taurus full moon eclipse. She was the goddess that came through when I asked who is supporting and guiding my beautiful goddesses in this community through this time, and she came through, and I feel like she's just the most appropriate goddess right now for Taurus, for the sort of it's not Taurus season, but Taurus full moon, in the sense that Taurus is all about value and how we value ourselves and self-worth, and what we expect of ourselves, the value we expect to receive, how we expect to be received by the world, in the sense that what we put out, what are we going to reciprocally receive back, or receive back in a reciprocal way. It's all about sort of being in a state of receptivity, deservingness, how much you deserve, how much you command, how much you feel worthy of, really. And she is just the most wonderful goddess for like stepping into and owning that self-worth in a really, really powerful way. So she's a really good one to connect with if at the moment, through this full moon season or cycle, you're feeling those feelings of any kind of self-worth, self-esteem. Things might be coming up, little memories or triggers, or things that have been suppressed, perhaps times in your life when you haven't been able to tap into that energy really strongly, or you've got to a point in a cycle where you felt really frustrated because you're just like, why can't I seem to get success? Like, why am I not why am I not successful in this area? Why is this not moving for me? Why can't I gain like success or following, or why am I not able to receive in some way? And it might be that there's some kind of block to receiving, but you can certainly call on Goddess Oshun. She is an amazing, I believe it's Yoruba goddess, who is just so fantastic at helping you to step into and own your self-worth and your self-value. And she does oversee all those sort of Taurus themes. So if that's something that you're riding at the moment during this like tough eclipse season, then you can certainly call on Oshun. She will be overseeing, her energy is overseeing this overall reading. So I feel like it's a really lovely held space, and helping you all to like step into your worth, own your value, and effectively command success, really. By expecting it. It's that energy of like, I don't chase, I attract. I receive what I'm worth. I know what I'm worth. And I don't expect anything less than success in my life at whatever it is, and success looks different for everyone. That's not to say, at the top of a corporate ladder, if that is what you want, then that could be what Oshun is going to help you with. if it's success within your family and how you're being a mother or a father and showing up in that way, or setting boundaries within a relationship and showing up and receiving your full worth within a relationship, whether it's within a business sense, putting yourself out there, shining your light, feeling worthy of receiving the resources that you need, the support and the money that you need, or the clients that you need, whatever it might be. Ocean is your girl during this Taurus season, this Taurus full moon eclipse season, because during eclipses things can feel hidden, they can feel like it's not available to me. It's that energy of like, why does everyone else have, why do they have this and I don't have this? Like, why do they get to receive that? Or whether it's a partnership, a family, money, a job, promotion, whatever it might be that you're looking for to validate your self-worth. This during an eclipse time, it's like it's covered. It's like you can't, it's harder to tap into it, but it's because it's really forcing you to go within and like find that worth right inside, like a little gold nugget kind of thing, like inside of you. And then once you found it, you can hold on to that and then shine that out, and then like as within so without, as above so below, and so forth. Like it'll come to you once you've kind of connected in with that. So Oshun is an amazing goddess at helping us step into our self-worth in a really powerful way. And we've got 3 pearls here today, so she'll be overseeing the guiding energy, overseeing this. But we've got cards, we've got oracle cards and a specific goddess or god card for each of the piles as well, because each one is a slightly different theme, so it'll play out differently for all of you. So just see where you're drawn. Some of you might be drawn to more than one pile because there might be different areas of your life that are being impacted by this full moon. It might be that you're drawn to this reading in months and months time, which is totally fine, by the way, because this eclipse energy is going to last about 6 to 9 months even. It could be 9 months out from this date, the 8th of November 2022. So if you find this a lot later, then just trust that there is a message for you, because it might take until then for things to start being visible on the outside. Okay, my lovelies, so without further ado, to introduce the piles, we've got pile number 1 is number 9, Branwen, of the Starlet Astara, and her message is a new beginning. Hopefully you can see that all right. We're just going into, I'm in the Northern Hemisphere in Canada at the moment, and I'm just realizing that at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the sun is already dipping, so apologies, the light is not quite as bright as I thought it was going to be. I might have to put the lights on in a moment. Hopefully you can see it enough to be able to pick your pile. Card number 10, the Creatrix, creativity. Yeah, maybe it's a little bit hidden for this bit because it's an eclipse, and these little energies are hard energies to see right now, right? But don't worry, I'll put the lighting on for your actual reading so you can see the cards properly. So we have got Artemis, she of the Wild, Mercy for pile number 3. Okay, my love, so just take a moment to ground your energy, connecting with Mother Earth. Pause the video if you need, take a few deep breaths, and just feel into which pile is drawing you in. And like I said, it might be more than one. Your oracle cards for each pile are underneath, so you just tune into the energy of the pile and really see which one you're drawn to, or if you're a visual person, tune into the image and see which one you're drawn to. Ask Goddess Oshun to guide you to which pile is yours, which area in your life you're really stepping into your self-worth and success in, really. Okay, my loves, I will see you in your pile. Hi, pile number 1. If you chose Branwen of the Starlet Astara, a new beginning, then this will be your reading. Okay, so I've already pre-pulled your oracle cards, and then we are going to pull some tarot from the Intuitive Night Goddess Tarot. So let's get into your oracle cards. So the energy that is eclipsing out for you, pile number 1, is the Sun, but that came out in reverse, which I'll explain in a moment. So that's what's eclipsing out. What's eclipsing in, so what you're inviting into your life in replacement of that, is the fourth chakra archangel Raphael. Your overarching guardian god is Ogma, and his message is watch your words. And we've got from the Herbal Astrology Oracle, we got Ashwagandha, card number 54, Purpose, which is really beautiful. There. I'm going to put this one up here with your new beginning. So, okay, let's just get those. Let's shift the camera a little bit. Sorry. Card number 1, so you can see all the cards all right. Whoops. There we go. Okay, so pile 1. What I get for you that you've been going through and what's eclipsing out very organically and naturally this Taurus full moon eclipse is with the sun in reverse. I feel like if you look at the image of the card when it's upright, it's a very it's an energy of a lot of fertility and like inner child play. We've got there's a little baby hanging from the tree here. There's a lot of like artistic and creative things on the branches. There's a very like watery lotus energy, like I'm getting sort of almost Piscean vibes, like swimming in that sort of ocean and receiving like intuitive, creative ideas and being able to like sort of navigate those ideas and bring them to the light, to the sun. It's also an energy of tapping into your inner child and really like feeling bright and shiny and able to bring that like natural inner child part of yourself to light. And because it came out in reverse, it's sort of saying you've been going through a period of not being able to tap into those things where, you know, you might have felt that those energies have been somewhat blocked to you. Maybe you've been trying to conceive. That could be literally, you could be trying to conceive a baby and it hasn't quite happened. Or you've been trying to conceive some sort of a creative project and it hasn't happened. Or even just connect with your like inner child self or your creative self, and it's just not, it's sort of been hidden from you or been blocked or something. It's like you've felt a bit, maybe you've been through a period of depression. The sun in reverse can speak of that. It's almost like you've been through that period of being the part of the lotus flower that's like underneath in the swamp, you know, like lotuses can grow in the most like crazy conditions, like in you know, the most out of ponds and all sorts of things. You'll see these beautiful flowers growing, but underneath the conditions are like really murky. But it's like they've had to kind of grow through so much murky stuff, so much like heaviness and everything, but they can still bloom and be this like beautiful flower on the top of the with the lily pad on top of the pond. And it's like you've been sort of the lotus flower that's been underneath, but that's eclipsing out because it's like you're coming into a period where you're going to really bloom. You're going to have this new beginning with Brahman of the star Ostara. There is absolutely a new beginning coming for you. Now, this may well be in Ostara season, which for if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, that is so spring is March till sort of May time. So it may be around then if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, or if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, you'll be going through spring now. So it could really depend on when you are watching this and when your next spring is, or when Ostara is next for you. So this new beginning this reconnection with your inner light, your inner sun, your inner child, your ability to connect with your sense of play and delight in the world and enthusiasm and creative, like your creative self and what you enjoy doing. And I'm also seeing, like with this sun here, there's a cage with a bird in a cage down here. there's like a little, but it's very small. You might want to almost look up, this is from the Energy Oracle deck. You may want to look this card up because I don't know if you can see it very well, but there's a teeny tiny bird in this cage hanging off this sort of water cup. And I feel like it's like maybe you've been a bit trapped, or a bit you've been feeling a bit, just stuck, like imprisoned is the sort of vibe I'm getting, like trapped in something. Maybe you've felt trapped in a job, or trapped in a marriage, or trapped in something that has sort of clipped your wings, is what I'm seeing, pile one. And as a part of this eclipse, this is going to come to light, or it's going to come to the surface to be sort of purged out and released, so that you can tap into this powerful new beginning. Now in this card, I very much see there's a woman. She's sitting in the forest. She's connecting with nature. She's got candles around her, and a sort of cauldron here. But she's just very happy in her own company, very happy and content. So there's definitely a shift from feeling perhaps quite down, quite low, not able to connect to your true self or your inner self, to like really turning that around, particularly maybe around springtime, and connecting with this beautiful part of yourself and feeling really content in your own company. Maybe spending time in nature could be really helpful for you. Because I feel like what's coming in is there's a lot of green energy here, actually. I'm just noticing this now with Ogma. He's wearing this green cloak. And then you've got the fourth chakra, which is the color green. This is the heart chakra, the fourth chakra. So there's a lot of green energy. And then even in this card with the base of this water that this sort of cup she's swimming in is very greeny. And if you imagine if this card was color, it would be a lot of green because she's out in nature. So there's something around nature that might be quite restorative for you, connecting with the color green, even wearing the color green crystals if you're a crystal person and you enjoy crystal energy, or even if you're new to crystal. Sorry. My crystal just decided to jump off the table in enthusiasm at that idea of you connecting with crystals. Green crystals could be a good option for you to help you connect in with your inner light, your inner sun, and also I'm hearing, like, with Watch Your Words here, and with the fourth chakra being here and the sun in reverse, which I'm going to leave it back up right now because I feel like that's sort of what you're moving toward. I feel like what this is saying is you might have been in a period where you've been a bit down on yourself, and the self-talk that you've been engaging in, or what you've been sort of telling the universe you deserve. Because remember, we spoke about, if you haven't watched the intro, we spoke about Goddess Oshun and about self-worth and Taurus energy and Taurus full moon, bringing to light where you're not perhaps honoring yourself, or where you're not stepping into your self-worth fully. And I feel like for pile one, for you, this is to do with really being careful about what you're telling the universe you're worthy of and what you want to see in your life. It's like there's some sort of a script that's running, and I'm not saying this like, oh my god, pile one, like what have you been telling yourself? Like, come on, like get with the program. It's not, we all have negative conditioning and programming that we grow up with, whether from family, from society, from the media, wherever. It's just becoming aware of where your self-talk and your self-dialogue is not constructing maybe the sunny reality that you would like. And it's about kind of taking responsibility for your outer reality by noticing what is the inner dialogue and the inner scripting. Now, this could also be a sign that for some of you, I'm just hearing or seeing you doing scripting exercises. So If you're not familiar, you could look this up on YouTube. There's a lot of people with manifestation channels, and they talk about the scripting process. But I've done this myself, and it really worked for me. It was incredible, in fact, how quickly things came about. But you can script or write lines of what you do want to see, like words of affirmation to yourself of what you want to see in your life, as if you already have it. And really watch how you're talking to yourself around those things. So, whether it's a new beginning in work that you want, whether it's a new beginning in a relationship, whether it's a new beginning in family, whether it's a new beginning in just your own sense of self and your attitude, whether it's whatever kind of new beginning this is you're trying to bring in. And I feel like, and I'm going to loop back to this card in a moment, I feel like it's to do with your purpose, but we'll get there. But whatever this new beginning is that you're trying to manifest, or that you really want, you can bring that about through speaking it into existence, through the power of the words that you use internally, the internal dialogue, and how you like script it and then voice it into being. So with that scripting exercise I mentioned, you can also, after you write it down, don't just write it down and sort of throw it away. Write it down and then read it out loud every day. So say, for example, you're wanting a new beginning in love. So we've got the fourth chakra here, which is the heart chakra, which is related to love. It can be love of all kinds. It might be friendship, it might be family, it might be community, it might be a romantic partner, whatever it is. You might be wanting to bring that in, and I feel like that is something that is coming to you, but it's important to kind of watch your words. It's not to say like, oh well, if you've gone through a period of depression you'll never get this. No, it's not like the universe is going to punish or deny you of something. It's more just that these types of things will manifest and come, you'll see them show up in your outer reality the more you believe it from your inner reality, the more you're sort of speaking to yourself and having that dialogue. And they're guiding me, they're nudging me, they have been doing this for a while to go to the guidebook for Ogma, because there's something specific that he wants to say to you. So Ogma, what's your words? Infuse your language with light, your words matter. Additional meanings is what they're wanting me to read out, I think. I am going to read the guidance a little bit as well, because it just kind of confirms what I've been saying. But notice the words you use about yourself, others, and the world. Spoken and written language carry energy that can shape your reality for better or worse. So yeah, that's exactly what I was just saying. Your body, mind, and spirit respond to the way in which you describe yourself. If you say, for example, I'm useless, I can't do this, I'll never be any good, your cells and vibrational intelligence believe those words. They go on to create experiences that reflect them. But if you say, I'm good enough, I'm doing my best, I can succeed at this, then your energy shifts to create this truth. Your brain chemistry is influenced by what you say. Your mind is always seeking to show you evidence of what you speak about. Notice how you communicate with other people. Do your words lift them up? Before you speak or write, ask yourself if you'd like to receive these words. You have the power to shift the world with language, so use it with care. And additional meanings are pursue creative writing or submit a manuscript to publishers. So for those of you that are, and I do see for some of you are creatives, because we've got here a book up here in this tree. So some of you might be writers. We've got paintbrushes here. So some of you may be artists. Like I said, some of you might be trying to have a baby, but just watch what you're saying as you're trying to manifest whichever of these things you're wanting to bring into your life. Learn a new language is another meaning of the card. You're an inspirational public speaker. And the invocation is, my words make a positive difference. I speak from the soul. So I feel like this, also doing some heart chakra healing might be very helpful for you. Pile number one, to help heal a sense of what you, it's about like receiving is what I'm getting, a sense of what you're worthy to receive. There's some sort of a heart chakra block about being able to receive whether that's love, whether that's family, whether that's community, whether that's money, whether that's, yeah, just, it'll be different for all of you. But I feel like coming back to what Ogma was saying and about being careful about your words and what you're trying to manifest, and for those of you that are, say, writers or artists or something, and you've been trying to bring something and manifest something into the world, that thing that you've perhaps before felt disconnected from, that you can actually manifest through the power of manifestation and speaking it into existence, and watching how you talk to yourself and just saying like, hey, maybe I can do a little bit of work on this today. Let's just see where it goes. Maybe I might be successful in it, you know. And with Goddess Ocean here, you can call on her as well, because she is the goddess of success, literally. So she can help you bring this project or this thing you're wanting to bring into your life into success. And I feel like with this purpose card with Ashwagandha, this is very much part of your life's purpose, this work, whatever this is, and this new beginning that you're going to step into, potentially around Astara time. But like I said, it might be earlier for some of you. Yeah, it might be a little bit earlier than spring. You might only start to see the outward manifestation in spring, but it may be earlier that you start actually stepping into that. But ashwagandha might be a really useful herb. For those of you that are into herbs, that might be a really good one to connect with, to help you step into your purpose. And I feel like it's got the North Node here as well, the symbol at the top, and a new moon. So it's, if you don't know what your North Node sign is, or where your North Node is in your birth chart, it could be worth checking that out. Because it's about this eclipse cycle, and it is generally for everyone actually aligning us with our North Nodes, but especially for you, Pile 1, very powerfully, this is going to align you with your North Node, where you're going, where your soul's destiny is heading. Okay, so I'm going to pull a couple of tarot cards for you just to finish off. In fact, I'm just getting a vibe actually for those of you that might be into astrology or been learning about it. There's a sun and a moon on this card, so something to do with like maybe astrology, or yeah, it's interesting. You've got two suns here. There's a sun here on this card, the sun, and this sun here. So maybe something to do with like what's your sun sign, and kind of stepping into being more powerfully shining your light in terms of whatever your sun sign is could be useful. I'm not sure. Let's have a look. What is Pile 1? What is their purpose? Potential. Yeah, this is equivalent to the Fool in tarot. So this time is really potent for you to kind of, yeah, it's the new beginning. You've got a new beginning coming, that you're on this precipice. It's just taking that leap of faith into the unknown. So for some of you, this could be where you've been wanting to do something for a while, but you've just not been quite believing that you were capable of doing it, or that it could come to you. So you've sort of stayed back on the safety of of solid land, because it's like, oh no, if I jump off that cliff, like it's just going to be a disaster. Like maybe you're thinking of starting some sort of creative project or a business idea or something like that, but it's like it can't happen for me, and you know, all those sort of self-defeating thoughts. But as Ogma said, like if you just, you can speak good things into existence as well as creating blocks for yourself. So if you believe it can never happen for you, then that is likely what will continue to perpetuate for longer. Whereas if you just say, if you sort of trust in the unknown and take that leap of faith off that cliff, it's like with that tiger that's with her as well, it's like you've got that power, that strength in you to handle jumping off that cliff, so to speak. And it's like the universe doesn't actually if you're truly aligned and you're stepping towards your purpose, the universe isn't going to let you just drop and plummet to the ground and it all be a disaster. Like, it's that energy of whatever you take the step towards, the universe then takes another step towards you, and then you take a step, and then it's like a dance of co-creation. It's like you don't have to kind of go flying and then try and flap around like for a long time. It's like, yes, there is going to be some action that you need to take, and you've got to sort of put yourself out of your comfort zone. That's what the Fall is all about. It's like you've got that potential to kind of like go take yourself where you want to be, but you don't have to do the whole journey alone. Like you are going to receive support, you are going to receive assistance, you are going to receive the healing you need, you are going to receive the love and support and the people that you need to help you align with your purpose, to help you align with this new beginning. So that's really beautiful energy to see the Fool coming through for a card, for a reading that's about a new beginning. Can we have another? What is Pile 1's purpose? Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, I feel like this might be for many of you with getting that purpose card and like the Sun, in terms of all the things I said about like whether you're an artist or a creative or something like that. It's like there's a new beginning coming in what you do for money, what you do to receive worth in some way. Now, this doesn't have to be like, oh, this is going to be your whole everything, like just quit your job and go and do this thing 100%. It might be, for some of you, it might look like that. But there is a new beginning coming where you'll start to receive like pentacles, which is money, finances, stability, security, because it's like you're seeing your light, you're seeing your own worth, you're seeing this sun. It's like, see this yellow energy, this sunny energy. It's like you're really embracing that. And you've got this is a lot of new beginning energy, with new beginning, Ace, which means new beginning. So new beginning in Pentacles, so new beginning in things to do with money, stability, security, etc. And Potential, the Fool card, which is the first card in the hero or heroine's journey through the major arcana. So there's just so much energy around, and like I said, it's this very green energy around here, which is something to do with something that you love. So this is going to bring you a lot of emotional fulfillment. It's something to do with like, there's a lot of nature as well. There's a lot of green on both of these cards too. I feel like this is you blooming, really. It's like you're blooming. This is you here in nature, and all of nature is blooming in Astara, which is spring season, and you're blooming with it. It's like you're part of that world. So, that is a really beautiful energy. I'm saying one more. So, what else is coming in for Pearl? Oh, I love this. Warrior of Cups, which I think is like Knight. Pretty sure warriors are equivalent to knight cards in normal tarot. But yeah, Warrior of Cups or Knight of Cups. So going after what emotionally fulfills you, or going after what you want, going after what you love, taking action towards what you love, taking action towards filling your cup up and letting it overflow into the world. There's some more watery energy here, and a fish, which is that, again, that Pisces energy I spoke about at the beginning with the Sun card. You've got this cup here, and this woman is swimming in this water, and then here she's standing in it? Yeah, she's standing literally in the water, and there's a fish. It's like being pulled downstream. It's like, this is, if you allow it to happen and you watch your words, like Ogma said, like, don't self-defeat before you've even stepped off this cliff. It's like I feel like for some of you, I'm getting this energy of seeing someone like running up to the end and then being like, oh no, I can't, and then running back, and then like a few weeks or a few months later running up to the end of the again and then being like, oh no, I can't, it's too scary, I'm not going to be supported, or it can't happen, or whatever. And it's like you keep kind of going to the edge of the cliff and looking out over the horizon, and then kind of shrinking back. And it's like this eclipse season is going to eclipse that out, that tentative energy, or that energy that says that you can't do it, where we had the sun in reverse at the beginning of feeling, and with the watch your words, like maybe speaking negatively to yourself about what you're capable of and what might happen. Because you've got, it's just so much new beginning energy, like I said, with Ace of Pentacles, potential, the Fool, our new beginning card, stepping into your purpose with Ashwagandha, and then Warrior of Cups, going after what you love, going after what makes your soul sing, what makes your heart sing, what you enjoy doing, finding that joy again, finding your inner light, your inner sun. And doing that, and knowing that you'll be supported and you'll receive the financial blessings or stability or security that you need in some form or another. Like, it is going to bring you, like, these creations are just going to bloom. See, look, you've got these flowers. Hopefully you can see that okay. These flowers just blooming, and then this huge, massive coin, gold coin, just dropping from the sky. And I feel like that's the universe giving you the support for this venture, this project, this stepping into your purpose. They're guiding me to the guidebook for the purpose card, Ashwagandha, which is card number 54. See. Okay. Upright means finding divine purpose, Dharma, finding the future self, and receiving a divine gift. Yeah, I said about receiving, the fourth chakra, the heart chakra, being about being able to receive. So I'm going to skip the bit where she talks about what Ashwagandha does as a herb and go straight to the guidance. So Ashwagandha, like the North Node, mirrors the potentials. Don't you love it when that happens? Mirrors the potentials, and you got the potential card. Mirrors the potentials of our divine purpose, also known as Dharma in Sanskrit. Ashwagandha contains both solar and lunar elements within it, as it provides great strength and adaptability, yet with the deep qualities of the moon, such as relaxation, lucidity, and expanded consciousness. Ashwagandha reminds us that it is not necessary to fully know the entirety of your purpose in order to pursue it. When you're living in alignment with your Dharma, there is no separation between your inner and outer realities. It becomes a cohesive expression, therefore granting a feeling of wholeness and completion. Perhaps you are not clear on your desired outcome, so your efforts feel unfocused or purposeless. Even if you've lost touch with your why, remain open to the mystery of the journey. Stay focused and playful, and keep following the signs. I love that. I love that for you, pile number one. That is so beautiful. It's going to be a lot of synchronicities and signs coming to you once you start being really careful of your words, scripting, manifesting, speaking things into existence. That card just spoke about your inner and your outer realities colliding. And I feel like that's talking a lot to do with like that potential card when I was saying about you take a step and then the divine takes a step, or the universe takes a step. Like you take another step and it takes another step to help you manifest. And that's like the inner and the outer starting to merge and then express in a sort of 3D sense. You'll start to see things show up on a 3D level as you get really strong on your self-worth, essentially, from the inside. Yeah. Okay, pile one, I hope that resonated. I'm going to leave your reading there. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing. Don't forget to hit the notification bell if you're new, so you never miss another reading. I hope this resonated. Don't forget to leave a comment below if it did. I really love hearing from you, and I will always comment. And all the best with this journey, all the best with the lunar eclipse, and I will see you in the next reading. All my love. Bye-bye. Hi there, pile two. If you picked the Creatrix card number 10, creativity, then this will be your reading of what is eclipsing out and what is eclipsing in to your life across this Taurus full moon eclipse. So we've got the energy that is eclipsing out is the Thinking Woman, card number 47, which came out in reverse. The energy that is eclipsing in is Anxiety, card number 18, but in reverse. Don't worry. It's good. It's good. I'm just going to move the tarot cards out of the way for now. We will come back to tarot after this bit. We've got King Neptune sensitivity as the guardian deity who is looking after you through this process, or might have some messages for you across this process. And then we've got from the Herbal Astrology Oracle, we've got card number 7, the Paudako, I think it's pronounced Paudako, Metamorphosis card. So just hold that up to the camera. Okay. So this is what you're going through, big metamorphosis, pile number 2. This is very interesting because there might be a bit of a overlap between pile 1 and pile 2. So if you were drawn to both piles, then maybe check that one out as well, because there's a lot of creative energy is what I'm picking up from both pile 1 and pile 2. I definitely feel like with pile 2, there's some sort of a shift from thinking to feeling, from being sort of more in your logical or intellectual side of yourself. Maybe some of you have, with it coming out in reverse, it's like some of you, this can be two things. This can be either some of you have been in that sort of environment, like a university type environment, or a very institutional type environment, a very intellectual environment. Maybe some of you have been teachers, or like I said, in a university, you might have been studying, or you might be a professor yourself, or you might, or even just in whatever your field is. Like it doesn't have to be you're still at university, but maybe even in the workplace, you're someone who you do a lot of research, or you are around books or learning or teaching or something like that. And your primary like modus operandi, which is what I'm this is what I'm hearing. I'm channeling this message through, so excuse the slightly ornate language, but anyway, your modus operandi has been a logical one for most of your life. Has been perhaps more intellectual or more left brain is what I'm hearing. And with it coming out in reverse, it's like what I'm getting is like you've been feeling for a while that doesn't quite fit you anymore, and it's like being released. Oh yeah, it wanted to like flip over and just shoot off the screen. It's like it's not cutting it anymore for you. For others of you, this particular card can be to do with a thinking woman in your life, as a female figure. Now this could be a maternal figure, it could be a mother, it could be a boss, a female boss, something like that, but someone who was quite controlling is what I'm hearing. They were quite perhaps strict on you, or quite austere, or quite by the book, quite sort of, I'm getting that kind of Queen of Swords energy, a little bit cold, maybe a little bit unfeeling, a little bit like by the book, like this is how it's done, this is what you do in life, this is how you can make money, this is how you can get ahead, this is how you can get success, you must do it this way, you must go to university, and then you must go and be, you know, I'm getting that sort of vibe of like someone who very much wants their daughter or their son or whatever to be something that makes the family look really good, and in a conventional sense, you know, like something that involves a lot of study, you know, like a doctor, a lawyer, a psychiatrist, you know, something in one of those fields that is in sort of traditional, in a conventional sense, is very well regarded. It sort of seems to be the kind of pinnacle of certain kinds of jobs. And with it in reverse, it's like I'm just getting this vibe of your soul just being like, yeah, nah. Like, that was really Kiwi. So maybe some of you follow Kiwis. Kia ora if you are. I'm a Kiwi. I don't know why I just got this like, yeah, nah vibe. And then with this King Neptune, there's some kind of Māori or Polynesian vibes going on here. So, and just with the ocean, I'm getting like Oceania, kind of Southern Hemisphere kind of vibes. So, hey, my fellow Antipodean peeps, if you're watching, hello, hello. Or some of you you might not specifically be in Oceania, but you might be kind of somewhere on an island, or you want to go somewhere to an island or near the sea, or just like even metaphysically, you want to be in that Neptunian creative energy is what I'm seeing. You want to move towards that. You're the creatrix, part 2. You are this person. For those of you that are writers, it's like I see you with this full moon eclipse. It's like you're able to tap into that like creatrix side of you, and some writing ideas might come through. And what's eclipsing out is like maybe any kind of interference from either from like your left brain self, if this was you in up till now sort of thing, this thinking woman. Like your left brain self is not going to interrupt this creative process. This right brain side of you, like she's going to get out of the way so that this right brain side can just write. And it may be even that I'm seeing that some of you might even have to do this at night, because of like maybe family responsibilities, like logistically, that's kind of the only time you can, excuse me, tap into that energy. But also, like, that's the time when that thinking brain, it gets a little bit tired, and when the sort of dream-like Neptunian sort of Pisces, watery, dreamy, intuitive feeling side can start to kind of come out and play a little bit more. And really, this eclipse season is going to allow you to go through a huge metamorphosis around this whole, from your sort of left brain thinking side to your right brain side, and this sensitivity to ideas and emotions and energies and creativity and creative inspiration, and going with the flow, with the creative flow. Some of you also might be transitioning from the left brain to the right brain, but the right brain not in a strict creative sense of like, those kind of creative roles, like being a writer or being a poet or being an artist or being something kind of like that, but more to do with transitioning from left brain to right brain around your energetic sensitivity, and that you're going through like a spiritual awakening kind of thing, and you're waking up your intuition, you're waking up your emotional side, so you're able to tap into like more energies. You're becoming more energetically sensitive, more emotionally sensitive to others. So it might be that what you're creating is less about like, oh, you're going to create a work of art sort of thing, like a book or a painting or something like that. I mean, that may well be the case for some of you. You'll know. Obviously, this is a general reading, so just take which messages resonate and leave the rest. If you're sitting there thinking, but I'm not creative at all, like I don't have any creative ideas, but I am feeling more spiritually curious, and I'm noticing my energy is more sensitive, and I'm noticing now that I struggle to be out in crowds, or like I'm picking up energies, or I'm more like I'm curious and wanting to learn about, say, crystals, or like vibrational, like I'm getting someone who wanting to learn about plant essences, like the vibrational essences of plants. And maybe what you're going to create is something out of that. You're going to learn about it and then create a business out of it, or you're going to create plant medicine or something, or like your own kind of work around sort of being sensitive to energy and how to manage that. So creativity is quite broad in this sense. So it's not just a traditional, like shifting from, say, a traditional left brain type vocation to a right brain vocation. It's not necessarily that black and white. It's more subtle than this. It's more of an inner metamorphosis. With anxiety in reverse, this is a great card to get, because this is like saying that all your fears, all your doubts, all your worries, all the things that have been keeping you up at night, they're going to go away. You're moving into a new cycle where you're going to be less anxious. And I feel like this is because either you're plugging that mental energy that you have, that, because I feel like you still have this somewhat intellectual side, or this vibrant, alive brain, and you're plugging the energy that you get through into some sort of creative pursuit, whether that be writing, maybe journaling, whatever it is, or you're plugging that energy into this spiritual endeavor, or like awakening, or sort of increasing your sensitivities, learning more about energy and energy work, or plants and plant medicine, or crystals, or whatever it might be. It's like you're finding ways to manage your anxiety so that it's not like controlling your life anymore, because that is very much a shift from, like, it's like if the thinking woman has been in control, and this sort of logical right brain, well, this is how it's done, you know, that can create a lot of anxiety within the brain, because if we're not connected with this like fluid, emotional, spiritual realm of ourselves and the universe, then we can feel very cut off and just very like reliant on what our thoughts are telling us, and that can lead to like overthinking and spiraling thoughts and all sorts of, like, you know, I'm even getting, and I hope this isn't happening for you. I really hope this isn't happening for you, and please seek help if it is. But I'm getting vibes of some of you might have been in a cycle of, like, there might have been so much overthinking and so much negative thoughts that have been congesting your energy and even leading to suicidal ideation, which I really hope for your sake this is not what you've been going through. Please, please, please seek help if you have. We need you. Pile 2, we need you. But I don't feel like many, if really any of you are in that place, or if you if that was something, it's like that you're moving out of it. You're definitely moving out of it. You're finding ways to manage it. You're finding ways to trust your sensitive nature, trust your sensitive side, your energetic side, your intuitive side, your creative side, your emotional self. You're letting your emotions, you're balancing your emotional self with your mental self, so that the mental self isn't just like riding roughshod over everything and controlling your life. It might be that you've got a sort of a pattern of almost like an inner tyrant. I'm going to put that back in reverse. An inner tyrant, which is sort of maybe something from some kind of childhood conditioning, and then you've internalized that voice, and then that's the voice that you always hear when you try and do anything else outside of the kind of the rigid box. I'm feeling guided to read something from the guidebook about King Neptune. Let me just find him. Here we go. King Neptune, sensitivity. You're a highly sensitive soul. Embrace your softness and vulnerability. Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to read the whole bit because I feel like there's going to be different messages for some of you. So drawing this card confirms what you already know. You're incredibly sensitive to emotional and psychic energies. Most likely you've had to numb yourself due to the harsh, closed-off consciousness of the modern world. Yeah, this environment. Harsh, closed-off consciousness. And it doesn't understand or value the way you are. I'm going to hold him up. I feel like he wants to be close to the camera right now. Here we go. So you may have previously lived in Lemuria and are now bringing crystalline qualities of empathy, heart chakra healing, and sensitivity to earth. Your Lemurian soul is expert at reading emotions and taking the psychic temperature of any room. You sense every undercurrent, especially what's not being openly expressed. Being in crowds and highly stimulating environments can be challenging. You need beauty and art, romance, lyrical music, serenity, the ocean, nature, crystals, animals, and people who are open to the spirit world. You like tenderness, softness, and gentleness, especially in relationships. If you've been numbing yourself with addictive substances, unhealthy relationships, or overworking, for example, ask Nick? Who's that? Sorry, I don't know where that came from. Ask King Neptune. I was trying to say King and Neptune at the same time. Maybe there's a Nick in your life. Ask King Neptune to help. Embracing vulnerability is a key lesson for you in this lifetime. You may unconsciously sabotage wonderful experiences and relationships because of an old fear of being emotionally exposed. King Neptune says it's safe to let others into your heart. Your sensitivity is a gift. Rather than shutting off from your soft heart, make friends with your Lemurian light. And the additional meanings of the card are: you're a Lemurian lightworker. Take steps to reconnect with your soul's experiences in Lemuria. Connect with crystals for healing purposes. Have an open-hearted conversation with someone. And the invocation is: my sensitivity is a spiritual gift. It's safe to be vulnerable. Wow, I love that. It's safe to be vulnerable. Yeah, there's something around like maybe some kind of pattern where from childhood it wasn't really safe for you to express your true self or express your emotional side or your vulnerability. And so maybe you've been through periods of anxiety and it's not like depression. I don't get the vibe. That was part one, had some energy of depression. I don't feel like it's less. It's more about, I'm hearing like fearing consequences or fearing the worst. So there's a lot of like, yeah, just it's interesting. There's this lightning striking in the background here. It's like, which reminds me of the Tower card in tarot. It's like fearing the absolute worst. Fearing some kind of consequences, fearing you're going to be like struck down by lightning, you're going to be struck down by like God himself if you do something wrong, or if you sort of stray off this path, or if you show your vulnerable side or your emotional side. But you're really going through a transition and really going through a metamorphosis, a big shift. And also with this metamorphosis card, you can see there's a person, like her old self, and there's a siren just going now, which is like confirming. It's like her old self is like she's stepping out of like a it's very kind of scorpionic energy actually. Like stepping out of this old shell. It's like the phoenix rising, and then she's blooming. Look at all these flowers that are like blooming out of her head. Like she's just absolutely blooming, this new version of herself. And there's a mask in her hand here that she's holding out. Like she's demasked herself. So she's not wearing this like rigid face that she was told and conditioned and programmed to believe she had to wear in society. Like you must do this to be accepted by society, or be accepted by the family, or be accepted by your peer group or something. It's like, yeah, no, I'm gonna go, if I can pick him up, my goodness, there we go. I'm going to go play with the mare people. I'm going to be by the sea. I'm going to paint. I'm going to write. I'm going to connect with crystals. I'm going to be with spiritual people, with my tribe, with people who are connected with their emotional sides and expressive people who express their true authentic selves, and they're not afraid to do that. Like I'm gonna go and do that. And some of you will be already on that journey, and others of you this will be something that will start to happen as a result of this lunar eclipse. But I feel like it's not like a shock to you. I feel like this is something you've been yearning for. Your soul is yearning to creatively express itself. And I feel like with this womb that's bleeding here, it's like in society, those types of things are very taboo. Seeing like menstrual blood or whatever, or seeing a womb is taboo. It's very like a powerful, potent thing that has been very suppressed by, I'm not going to speak the word, by the P word. By patriarchy. So, which I just want to quickly say is not men. It's a system. It's an institution. It's just to be clear. So the point is that, and this card is relevant whether you're man or woman or however you identify. The point is that there's some part of you, some hidden part of you that has been suppressed, and you've had to wear this mask, and these parts of you that have been sort of pushed into the shadows and been seen as taboo because they can't be accepted by, like I said, your family or your culture or your friends or your society or whatever it is. Those parts are like they're just, it's like there's no containing them anymore. You are just going to bloom. Part number 2, with whether you like it or not. And I know you will like it, and you will release anxiety about it. Yeah, let's get into the tarot and just get a little bit more. A quick shuffle. See if we can get a little bit more insight. But yeah, it's interesting. There's a lot of crossover with pile 1 and 2. But they're definitely slightly different. Because I feel like it's to do with like what you're letting go of is a little bit different. It's a different energy that you're releasing with that thinking woman, with some sort of a left brain pursuit or world or people or conditioning or whatever. And it's not to say like left brain is bad or that world is bad or anything like that. And it might be that you have to combine both for a while or forever even. But there's just an honoring now of these other parts of you that were previously seen as taboo or shut off, and giving space to that creative soul. And that sensitive side of you, so that you're allowing room for both left brain and right brain pursuits or energies within you. So Spirit, can I have a tarot card for what pile 2 is, what's coming in for pile 2? That's a lot. Oh, do I want to take all these? Okay, fine. It makes sense. Interesting. I think that's quite rare to get 4 cards in one go like that, but they tell a story. So here we go. Card number 6, the Wayfarer, which this is the equivalent to the Lover's card in the tarot, which is all about inner harmony. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is exactly what I was just saying. This is about inner harmony and harmonizing the yin, the yang, the inner, the outer, the masculine, the feminine sides, the left brain, the right brain. You know, there's these two paths, that way and that way. And it's like you've got to sort of allow room for both. You've got to find that like inner harmony, inner union. So that's amazing. That's just completely confirmed exactly what I was just saying. And then we've got Queen of Swords, which is interesting because I mentioned about the Queen. I literally spoke about the tarot card, the Queen of Swords, when I was talking about this thinking woman here, and it coming out in reverse. Put it back in reverse. That you might have grown up with this sort of very linear, quite like this is how it's done, a little bit cold, maybe a little bit more logical or rational, someone who uses their intellect rather than someone who is able to tap into their feeling side and their intuitive side and their emotional side. And the card straight after the Queen of Swords is freedom. So I feel like this tarot is literally just confirming everything that is going on with the oracle cards. You're freeing yourself from that energy. You're shifting, you're transitioning across from this left brain existence or way of relating to the world, and becoming more sensitive and honoring that sensitive side of you. You're freeing yourself from this inner Queen of Swords. It's not to say like you're rejecting and saying and labeling it as bad, like that inner intellectual nature. That is certainly a part that you can, like with the Wayfarer, you can combine that with your spiritual side. You can combine that with your emotional side. Don't throw it away completely. Otherwise, you're then just doing the flip. You're then pushing into the shadow the opposite of what was in the shadow before. So you don't want to sort of denigrate that part of yourself. You want to integrate the taboo parts, the other side, and allow them to coexist. And then we've got I love this, Nymph of Cups, which is kind of like the Page of Cups in traditional tarot, but it's a very feminine energy, so it's less, it's kind of Messenger of Cups, Page of Cups, but feminine. Again with the blossoming, with the beautiful flowers blossoming behind her. Look at the similarity, and in fact I think they're actually identical flowers. That's incredible. They are they? No, not quite. Very nearly. I'm pretty sure. Those of you who know flowers, you'll know what that is. I don't actually know what they are, but beautiful pink flowers. Anyway, very feminine, the color pink. So definitely tapping into that sort of feminine side of you, that soft feminine side. Remember with King Neptune, we spoke about softness, vulnerability, receptivity, and Nymph of Cups, Page of Cups. It's like, I mean, also look, it's sort of very much so matches the energy and the colors actually of this King Neptune. So we've got water energy, fish here, Pisces energy, Neptunian energy, creative energy, and then this sort of pinky sky and the pinky flowers. So, you know, King Neptune is here to help you step into your Nymph of Cups energy, so you can create what you want to create and find emotional fulfillment. Really find emotional fulfillment and expressing your true self and just blossoming. There's a quote, I read it the other day somewhere. What was it? It was something about the flower doesn't wait for the bee, it just blooms, or something like that. I might have got that wrong, but anyway, you get the idea. It's like, you don't have to wait for anyone's permission, or you don't have to wait for someone to come and already have an established audience or an established sponsor or established contract or anything. Just express yourself, part two. Like get it out there in some form. Like just be your creative self. Like, do the things that bring you emotional fulfillment. Tap into that energy. And you will be successful, because we've got Goddess Oshun here, and she's overseeing this process for you, and she's going to help you step into success with this if you choose to go with the flow. And the thing is with eclipses is that, like I said, I think I said this in the introduction, the energy pulls you. It's like a current. A lunar energy if you think about how strong it is, it controls the tides and it controls women's moon cycles. So like to try and resist what the lunar eclipse is pulling in and out of your life is really futile because you're going against the current, you're going against the grain. It's like these things just, you know, this King Neptune energy is, it's powerful energy. Look, he's got a like vortex of water. If I can pick him up, he's got a vortex of water around him. This is like very powerful, like a current that's going to pull you in a good way. This is something you want though. This is something your soul wants. You know, I think I mentioned, no, I didn't mention, I mentioned with the previous pile, but eclipses are all about aligning us with our North Node. So some of you might have a Pisces North Node or somewhere in your like 10th or 11th house or something like that. Or Neptune around there. So maybe check out your birth chart if you're into astrology. But the point is that's the energy that's coming in for you. Okay, I feel like that is all the messages that I have for you. Oh, actually, sorry, they're guiding me to the guidebook for the herbal astrology on metamorphosis. So number 7. Yeah, discovery through darkness, transcendence of the known, unearthing fear. Yeah, I said about fear with that anxiety card in reverse. And non-conformity and breaking cycles. Yeah, we said about conformity with the thinking woman in reverse, and then sensitivity, it came up with that Neptune message as well. So a lot of messages about moving away from what you've been conformed into believing you need to do. So the guidance for Paudako is Lapacho is one of the great protectors of the sacred, and she is welcoming you in. Archetypally, Paudako embodies one of the faces of the dark goddess in her mighty splendor. The dark goddess is multifaceted, challenging belief systems, frailties, weaknesses, and testing our strength. Like Pluto, Lapacho demands you rebel against the ignorance of the old self and learned paradigms that inhibit the splendor of your self-expression. Ugh, I love it. It's just totally backing up everything we've been talking about. Her mighty darkness provides the tools to rebuild ourselves anew, triggering instant metamorphosis. Don't fear the unknown nature of mystery. The cosmic womb, in its darkness, births all hidden potentials into existence. Trust and step in. You are being guided. Woo! Pile 2. Damn! That is some powerful stuff. I am going to leave it there because I'm just going to leave you with that message. That is super powerful. You are absolutely going through a metamorphosis right now. So yeah, whew, strong energy. Let it just step into the cosmos, into the current, because resisting it is futile at this point. So yeah, absolutely go with it. And the last thing I wanted to say is sodalite could be a really good crystal for you. This is a throat chakra crystal, which is all to do with self-expression and like unblocking any blocks in the throat chakra so that you can express your true self. So that could be a really good one. It just kind of nudged at me. Like, hello, tell part 2 about me. Anyway, part 2, I'm going to leave your reading there before I get more delirious. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this resonated for you. Please leave a comment in the comment box below if it did. I would really love to hear from you. I always reply to my comments. So thank you so much for being here and letting me read for you today. It was an absolute honor. Let me know if you are working on any creative projects. I would love to hear about them if you feel up to sharing. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll be notified when I next upload a reading. And all the best with the eclipse season, and I will see you in the next video. All my love. Bye-bye. Hi there, pile number 3. If you chose card number 11, the Artemis card, She of the Wild, with a message of mercy, this will be your reading. Okay, so we've got some oracle cards that I've pre-pulled, and then we've got the Intuitive Night Goddess Tarot that I'll pull some tarot from at the end. So to begin with, you've got, for the energy that's eclipsing out, we've got card number 19, Rest and Rejuvenation, but that came out in reverse. That's eclipsing out. What you've got eclipsing in is card number 4, Happy Family, which came out upright. The overarching guardian energy that's looking after you through this eclipse is Leah, stand your ground, which is very similar energy to Artemis here. Both got like, well, one's got a bow and arrow, one's got like a spear, but it's the same sort of vibe. And then we've got card number 43, Passion Flower, with surrender. This is from the the Herbal Astrology Oracle, which is brand new. I love this deck. It's gorgeous. Okay, so let's see. This is what is eclipsing out. This is what is eclipsing in. And this is what you're moving into. So pile number 3, what I get for you is that you've gone through some sort of period or what you're releasing. Now, this could be something you're in right now or something that you've been through in the past, but what you're releasing is a pattern of overgiving and self-sacrificing and not setting healthy boundaries and like overworking or over delivering, and not honoring your body and not giving yourself enough time to like rest and rejuvenate when you need to. That cycle is like, you're done with that. Like, you are closing this out officially for this Taurus new moon. Like, part of what Oshun is here to help you find success in is, actually, it's interesting because it's a very Taurian trait, which is like to honor your body and honor your need to rest. That is something that those of you who are actually Taurus, you'll be able to tap into this a little bit more easily. Or if you know a Taurus friend, ask them for how they do this, because I'm Taurus sun and I know this energy. It's a very fixed earth energy. It's that bull energy. Like if you look at a cow or a bull and how they are in nature, they're pretty sedentary, right? They're pretty restful. Unless you wave a red flag in front of it, then it goes crazy. But the rest of the time, they're pretty ploddy and stable and like, you know, one foot in front of the other and kind of just quite, you know, able to, the Taurian nature is one where in its light form, in its evolved form, it's able to balance work and play, or work and rest rather, in a really healthy, balanced way. And this being the Taurus full moon eclipse, that any kind of Taurus themes, which is like all about self-worth, self-value, honoring the self, honoring the body, honoring the need for sensual things. The whole Taurus sort of sign is all about like sensual pleasures. You know, how are you eating? How are you sleeping? How is your environment around you? Are you having enough time for like self-love rituals and self-care? All those kind of things. That's all comes under sort of the Taurus domain. And it's something that all comes up at this time during a full moon eclipse to really look at and be like, am I honoring these sides of myself? Am I giving myself that space to do that? And finding, because with the Artemis, She of the Wild card with Mercy, this was a lot to do with like having some kind of experience that's teaching you, that's had to teach you, perhaps in a difficult way, how to develop greater empathy or compassion. But I feel like that's towards yourself, pile 3. This isn't about developing empathy or compassion towards someone else. This is about developing empathy or compassion towards yourself and allowing yourself like adequate rest and rejuvenation, listening to the signs of your body, standing your ground where people are asking too much of you, whether that's family, whether that's friends, whether that's your job, whatever it might be. But there's a pattern of self-sacrifice and overgiving to the point of like totally overtaxing yourself and burning out. I'm getting a very, very heavy burnt out energy from pile 3. You might be in that now, or you might have been in cycles of that in the past. And part of what Oshun is here for, and what I'm going to put her a little bit more in the light because she's It's a little bit dark there. Part of what Oshun is here for is to help you find success in whatever that means to you and whatever that is for you. So maybe this is about creating boundaries and creating a lifestyle where you can be happy and just have a happy family and have time to spend with your family and be like on the beach and play and be healthy and be able to rest and like do your meditation and do your yoga or whatever it might be that you need to do to find that like peace and rejuvenation, and show that care and compassion towards yourself. And part of showing care and compassion towards yourself and part of valuing yourself and seeing yourself as a worthy human being, worthy of being on the earth, is to create healthy boundaries for yourself. And they are not mean. They are kindness and compassion and empathy towards yourself. If you are over giving to other people to the point of burning out, you then can't give to anyone. So it's about like putting your own oxygen mask on first before you do it for others. And I know for some of you, if you've got a family, that can be really, really difficult, and sometimes nigh on impossible. But there might be some sort of a process whereby you need to like sit down and work out how you're going to be able to do this. Like, you know, if it's a case of needing to work out childcare or something, so that you can take an hour for yourself once a week to go to a yoga class or meditate or journal or have a bath or do some sort of a self-care routine at least once a week. Like resting is really important, I'm getting, because your energy is like, yeah, it's very, it's scattered is what I'm getting. I'm just getting this like pulled in 25 different directions, doing 25 different things for different people. Yeah, there's a definite need to create some boundaries somehow. And I feel like for some of you, there's a big resistance to that is part of this eclipse is going to be letting go of that resistance and seeing how important it is for your self-care, it's like have mercy on yourself, you know, be empathic and considerate and caring for you too. Like you're so caring, pile 3, for everyone else. It's like you're this sort of mother or father figure, nurturer for other people, and you might not even realize you're doing it. It's almost like you do it so naturally that you don't really realize that your energy is getting drained, because you just sort of, it's like maybe that pattern has been modeled to you, so you just instinctively do it, or you unconsciously do it, and you unconsciously overgive and feel that you need to give and give and give and give in order to be, oh wow, in order to be liked is what I'm hearing, in order to be accepted. Oof. Wow, that's some deep energy, my goodness. Yeah, so a little bit of inner child healing there might be in need to, and you can really work with Leah, ask Leah for support and like, okay, how do I see myself as worthy of having boundaries? How do I see myself as worthy of someone where I need to take mercy on myself, not just on everyone else? I need to have compassion and love and care towards myself and see myself as worthy of like liking yourself first and being accepted by yourself first, and then that will naturally happen on the outside. Like don't seek that from the outside by overgiving to everyone. Give to yourself first, and then people, it's like you're telling the world how to treat you by how you treat you. So I'm being guided to read a message from the book from Leah. stand your ground. Don't suffer in silence. Ask for what you want. Now, this will be different for all of you. Some of you might be in a relationship, and this might be about asking for what you want and creating healthy boundaries within a romantic partnership. For some of you, that's within your family. Some of you, it's at work. Some of you, it's within friendships. Some of you, it's in the community. So it'll be different for all of you. So just take it how it resonates. But you have an extremely giving and supportive nature. Everyone can always count on you to be there for them. You put others first, go out of your way to understand their needs, and bend over backwards to honor their requests. Yeah, that's what I picked up. These are traits that often show up in empaths, healers, light workers, earth angels, intuitives, and sensitives. Goddess Leah is urging you to set some limits before you risk losing yourself under a pile of other people's needs, demands, and expectations. Leah smiles widely and assertively claims generous space for you by pushing her stick into the earth. She asks, "Are you a living saint?" "No." "Are you being a doormat?" "Possibly." "Do you have dreams, needs, wishes of your own?" "Yes." Start putting yourself first. Ask for what you want. Ask for help and be open to receive it. You may feel uncomfortable to begin with, but my waters will enliven you. Together we'll clear stagnant patterns and find fertile new ground. And additional meanings are also for the card: stand up for others in human rights campaigns and all causes that highlight injustice and prejudice. And I'm just going to point out that I picked up a vibe that some of you might already be in that type of work, where you are so good at naturally campaigning for others. Like you might be in social work or some kind of like a care worker or something like that, or a campaigner or something. So you're already doing so much to protect others and have mercy on others and like stand up for others, but like to the point of you're almost like your own detriment somehow. It's like you're burning yourself out. So it's like you've got to turn some of that energy towards yourself. And then another message is clear stuck energy with water healing. Have a shower, bath, or swim. Visualize water as energy flowing through your chakras. Write down your blocks or fears and immerse in a water bowl to release. Leave a toxic or stale relationship. Well, I mean, that's pretty strong. So like, obviously just take that with a grain of salt. That's not going to be for everyone. Like if you're feeling like you're in a dynamic where your boundaries are not, like maybe you have tried to set boundaries and they're not like consistently being disrespected and like just completely bowled over because you're with someone who just doesn't respect them, then maybe that is time to take a stand and leave and show, like demonstrate your worth by being like, okay, well, if you're not going to respect my boundaries, you're not going to respect or listen to my needs, then I'm going to go and find someone who will, or I'm going to go and look after those myself. So that might be something for those of you, if you're considering that and you're in that dynamic, to think about that, or that might be something that might come up this lunar eclipse. But like, please just take that with a grain of salt, because this is a general reading and that message will only be if you feel called to do that. Like, don't suddenly feel like if you're in a perfectly good relationship, don't feel like, oh my God, I've got to leave my relationship because a tarot reading said. Never ever do anything because a tarot reading said. Always trust your own intuition and you have free will. And these are just general indications of where the energy is flowing at the time of a reading. So I just wanted to, I know most of you know this, but I just wanted to kind of give that disclaimer. And then the last one is take assertiveness training. That's a good one. That could definitely be useful kind of regardless of where you're at or what this dynamic is, whether it's romantic, whether it's work, whether it's family, you know, doing some sort of learning about assertiveness, learning to tap into your assertiveness, learning how to communicate your needs really clearly and effectively and expect them to be met. And the invocation is, I claim my space in the universe. I stand up for myself. Yeah. I claim my space in the universe. I do feel like pile number 3, there might be a little bit inner child healing or kind of releasing a pattern around people pleasing. And like I spoke about before when I was channeling through that energy of needing to be liked and accepted, like overgiving in order to be accepted. And that's often due to childhood trauma or modeling from an adult in your, or a caregiver in your environment who modeled that same pattern, and you've internalized that and you do the same thing in order to receive. You believe that you need to do that in order to receive acceptance from people, but you don't. And in fact, if it could be quite detrimental to yourself, like almost quite dangerous to your health and your well-being and your just your life force and your soul path. Because it's like this card talked about, like getting sucked into too many, like you're going to lose yourself in like other people's, what they want you to do, if you don't really find that strength from within and those boundaries and stand your ground for, like, you know, it's like there's a quote that's something to do with I can't remember exactly how it goes now, but it's something along the lines of like, chart your course or else you'll end up on someone else's boat or something like that. It's like take the time out to like set your intentions and work out where you're going and how you're going to get there, and allow the universe to like guide you towards where you're meant to be, rather than just sort of being out in the sea waiting for someone to kind of come and pick you up and like take you wherever they're going. And then in years' time you might look back and be like, how did I end up on this island? Like, why am I here doing this? This is not what I actually wanted. But like, if you haven't taken the time to tune into what you really want and figure that out, and then set those boundaries around that and stand your ground and be like, no, that's not okay. I don't want to go and, like, I don't know, help you out 5 times a week doing this project of yours. I need to, like, I can help you once a week, and the rest of the time I need to work on my stuff, you know, because I have needs, I have desires, I have dreams, I have wishes, you know. It's like, what are those, part 3? I feel like it's really important to reconnect with your inner self and find out what those are and go after them. And for many of you, I think this is around family and creating like a happy family life, because maybe there's like an imbalance in, could be like an imbalance in childcare duties or something. So there may be some need to have a conversation, a heartfelt conversation, and stand your ground with like how that's going to go now. And find more balance and invite, like, you know, and invite in help in some way. You don't have to do it all, and you don't have to do it all to be accepted or liked or loved. Yeah, I'm going to pull some tarot for you, and then I'm going to finish with the surrender, the message about surrender. But I do feel like that surrender card is sort of saying, like, surrender to rest and rejuvenation, surrender to this card here, like surrender to your, oh yeah, I've just noticed she's got this water, she's doing like a ritual here with tea or like water, and it's like flowing down into this big bowl here. And we just talked about with Leah and the ocean and doing some kind of water clearing ritual. So water could be really useful, and also this happy family are by the water as well. So if you're near a body of water, tapping into that watery energy could be really useful to help like clear, you know, maybe like tap into the watery realm of the body, which is like tears, you know, crying, releasing anything that's not serving you, that old pattern. Can I have a tarot card for, whoa, that came out fast. Strength. Yeah. Strength. Stand your ground. Absolutely. You have the strength to set the boundaries and hold on to them and go after and protect and be really fierce. It's like strength is that Leo or lion energy. So it's like being like a mother lioness for yourself. It's like you've got to be that sort of goddess Durga and the lion, that protective, fierce energy for you too, not just for other people. Because I feel like for many of you, like I said, some of you work in care or something like that where you do all that for other people, but you've got to do it for you. Yeah, otherwise, 10 of Swords. There's some kind of like I feel like this is to do with like the end of a cycle, where this person is, she looks very young, and she's got all these, she's holding 2 swords, and there's all these swords around her, and it's like this is sort of your inner child self that's seeking validation, and that cycle of like seeking validation to the point that you end up hurting yourself, because swords are to do with mental patterns, right? They're to do with thoughts, beliefs, ideas, mental patterns, mental health. And 10 is the end of a cycle. So it's the end, it's a completion, it's the ending of something. It's the end, it's the culmination where all those thoughts, everything you've been thinking and believing up until now kind of comes to a pinnacle and causes some sort of a revolution. And it's like this what's eclipsing out is this need to find validation through overgiving and through people pleasing, and believing that and thinking that to the point that you exhaust yourself and end up like completely defeated. Woo. 2 of Wands, yeah. This is what I was talking about with where there's a need to like think about your own wishes, your own desires, your own direction, charting your own course. 2 of Wands is like looking through, like looking out at a horizon where you're like standing on a precipice, looking out at the horizon, trying to visualize like what's coming towards me. There's a really good 2 of Wands card in, I think it's the Goddess Tarot by Chris Walder, if you want to look that card up. And it shows a woman standing on at a castle top kind of thing, looking out into the water, and the whole idea is like she's waiting for her ships to come in. And it's just what I was talking about like kind of not waiting for someone else's ship, but like charting your own course. And 2 of Wands is like, Wands are to do with passion and fire and energy and enthusiasm and creativity and optimism. And so, and there's a very, sorry about this very loud noise, there's a truck reversing I think at the moment. Sorry, pile 2, I'm going to pause because this is, sorry, pile 3, I'm going to pause because it's really noisy. Sorry, pile 3. We've got a truck reversing. I feel like that's kind of saying, I'm just seeing this visual of you, pile 3, kind of like backtracking from things that you've overcommitted to for other people, and just being like, hold on, let's just go in reverse. Actually, I want to go this way. It's like, you know, when you drive down a street or down a dead end, and then you're like, okay, well, I can't do a U-turn. I'm going to have to backtrack. I'm going to have to reverse. And it's like you've kind of gone up to a certain precipice, looked out and been like, oh, okay, if I keep going down this path, I'm going to just fulfill someone else's dream and help them out. And that's not to say like you've got to turn into a mean and nasty person and not ever do anything nice for anyone. It's just to say like, don't lose yourself in others. Don't lose yourself in relationship. Don't lose yourself in your family or obligations or, you know, doing things for a lot of other people. Like you've still got to honor your own dreams and aspirations and wishes and guidance, because you've got things that are waiting for you, essentially. And there's all this with this card here, there's all these beautiful flowers that are blooming around this person. It's like there's a beautiful garden that's just absolutely blooming. This is you, like you are going to bloom like this garden, but like there's a choice. It's like you've got to choose that. You've got to choose to bloom. You've got to choose to go in that direction. You've got to end this cycle, leave this behind, and tap into your inner strength. here. So I'm going to finish up with the guidance from the book about passion flower in the herbal astrology book. So this is card number 43. Okay, so upright, wow, yeah, means sacrifice, surrender, choosing growth, trusting discernment, rituals of letting go. I'm not going to read the background about the flower. I will read you the guidance. So passion flower symbolizes surrender, sacrifice, and the crucifixion of the ego. Passion flower resembles the need to sacrifice in order to make space and move forward. The all-seeing double-headed owl symbolizes the great understanding perceived from both sides, whether it be upside down or inside out, and bestows goddess passion flower with unseen truths as she performs rituals for letting go. Owl is symbolic of discernment and able to light up what's needed to be seen. Passion flower today might reflect the need to suspend actions that aren't aligned to your spiritual path. Yeah, see, what did I say about the reversing? And the truck went past reversing and needing to backtrack on something that isn't aligned anymore? Are there certain decisions or actions you've made that you must sacrifice now in order to reassess your direction? Oh my gosh, what did I just say about reassessing? Like going down a path and then being like, oh, whoops, not for me. Let's backtrack, let's reverse. Honor your intuition. It's okay if projects or original ideas come to an unexpected halt. Discernment is key to experience greater truth and opportunities. Wow, that's a really powerful message. Yeah, that really lines up with that Two of Wands of like looking out at your horizon and envisaging what you want to see come in, and not sort of and inviting that in and taking the step towards it. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. That truck is now going forward. Look at that, the same truck. He's going forward. It's like you're choosing to go forward with this new, with this life, this direction. It's like you might have to backtrack out of something else, out of some other commitment or project or direction or relationship or whatever. This eclipse might really bring that to light of like, oh my gosh, this is just really draining me, this thing. I committed to it. I've been doing it for years, but it's just not working for me. Actually, I'm not aligned. I need to backtrack. I need to get out of it. I need to sacrifice it. It's got to go so that I can bloom and be who I really am, and like step into my truth and show myself mercy and compassion, and eventually have this rainbow after a storm. Rainbows are always symbolic of like the rainbow after a storm. So there might be like, a bit of or you might have already been through a bit of a stormy time. I don't want to imply or scare anyone and say, oh, you're about to go through a storm. I feel like you're in that, or you've just had that. But like what you've got coming, what's going to eclipse in is this rainbow after that stormy period, or after those things that you've had to sacrifice. You're going to be happy. Whether you want, a traditional family, that will look different for all of you, but it's like you'll be happy within your own self, within your unit, within like your community, or within your friendship group, or whatever it is, your soul family. Like you will be happy, you'll be aligned with the right people, you'll be aligned with the right projects, but there's a need to sacrifice something first to end a cycle, to come into your strength, to find what lights you up and where you want to go, and go forward in that direction. Okay, pile number 3, I feel like that's all the messages that I have for you today. I hope that resonated for some of you. I'm sorry that was quite a strong message. That was the energy that was coming through. So it was a bit of a tough love one, this one today, but I hope it wasn't too difficult a pill to swallow. Yeah. Please leave a message below if it resonated. I really would love to hear from you. And thank you so much for being here. Thank you for letting me read for you today. Please leave, I said that, please subscribe and hit the notification bell if you would like to be notified when I next upload a reading. All the best for the eclipse season, and take care, and I will see you in the next reading. All my love. Bye-bye.